If you've read the prequel to the Da Vinci Code, Angels and Demons, you know the plot. Terrorists steal 1/8 of a gram of antimatter from a lab to blow up the Vatican. And the terrifying math behind that fiction is perfectly accurate. When antimatter and normal matter meet, they annihilate. Nearly 100% of their combined mass turns into pure energy via E equals mc². A single gram would trigger an explosion rivaling a catastrophic nuclear blast. But here's the reality check. CERN actually is manufacturing antimatter in Switzerland right now. However, if they took their entire annual output and detonated it simultaneously, you'd get enough energy to heat a thimble of water by about 1 degree. To make a single gram, their facility would have to run for longer than the age of the universe. Because of that extreme scarcity, antimatter costs roughly $100 trillion per gram. Yet, physicists have actually managed to trap a microscopic fraction of this volatile substance inside a custom magnetic box, load it onto a truck, and casually drive it around their campus. Which brings up an obvious question. Why are scientists spending billions of dollars and decades of their lives on the most expensive, difficult-to-contain substance in the universe just to hold a few particles in a box? The answer starts deep underground at CERN's antimatter factory. Down here, protons are accelerated to over 99% the speed of light and violently smashed into a solid iridium target. That collision creates a chaotic shower of subatomic debris, including a few precious antiprotons. The immediate engineering nightmare is that these antiprotons are moving at incredible speeds, and if they touch any normal matter, like the walls of the machine, they vanish instantly. They have to be caught mid-flight. To pull this off, the particles are routed through a decelerator ring, slowed down, and fed into a vacuum chamber emptier than deep space. Then, an intense web of electric and magnetic fields pins them in the center of a tube, while they are cooled down to near absolute zero. All of this, the underground rings, the massive budgets, the decades of engineering, leads to a surprisingly simple climax. They take a single, invisible antiatom, and they drop it 20 centimeters to see which way it falls. Because that tiny drop holds the answer to why any of us are here at all. To understand why a 20-centimeter drop matters, we have to look at the first fraction of a second after the Big Bang. The universe was a superheated, infinitely dense storm of pure energy. As space expanded and cooled, that raw energy spontaneously converted into mass. According to the laws of quantum mechanics, this process always creates pairs, one matter particle and its exact mirror opposite, an antimatter particle. But that creates an immediate problem, what physicists call the radiation catastrophe. Because the early universe was incredibly dense, those freshly minted mirror particles should have all immediately found each other, annihilated, and flashed right back into pure light. If the universe played strictly by its own rules, the math dictates it should have completely canceled itself out. The cosmic ledger should balance to zero, leaving behind no solid matter, only a sea of expanding radiation. Yet, obviously, that didn't happen. You exist. The screen you're looking at exists. The existence of a single rock proves that somewhere in the exact math of the early universe, a rule was broken. Physicists can actually quantify the scale of that broken rule. By measuring the cosmic microwave background, the lingering heat from those original annihilations, they figured out the exact ratio of the imbalance. In the early universe, for every 1 billion particles of antimatter, there were exactly 1,000,000,001 particles of matter. That first billion perfectly destroyed each other, but that single solitary extra particle survived. Every star, every ocean, every animal, and everything you have ever known is built exclusively out of those lucky 1 in a billion cosmic leftovers. That tiny lingering fraction of a percent proves that matter and antimatter do not follow identical rules. There has to be a hidden difference in how they behave, but finding that difference is dangerous territory for physicists. Our entire understanding of reality, from quantum mechanics to Einstein's special relativity, relies on a concept called CPT symmetry. It assumes the universe acts as a flawless, predictable mirror. If an experiment finally reveals the broken rule that allowed matter to survive, it explains why we are here, but it also threatens to tear down the very foundation of modern physics. For decades, researchers at CERN have been aggressively hunting for that flaw. They have trapped antiprotons to meticulously measure their electrical charge, their parity, and their magnetic moments. But the mirror hasn't broken. Every single test shows that antimatter behaves exactly like normal matter. Up to 10 decimal places, they are perfect identical twins. Which leaves only one major force left to check: gravity. It is the only fundamental force that notoriously refuses to fit neatly into the standard model of particle physics. Testing it requires an absurd level of precision. At an experiment called G-bar, scientists are planning to hit an anti-hydrogen ion with lasers, bouncing it against ultra-cold beryllium until it freezes down to 10 microkelvin. That makes it still enough to observe its natural fall, and that is why they built the billion-dollar antimatter factory, just to watch a frozen antiatom drop 20 centimeters. Because if gravity pulls on antimatter even a fraction of a percent differently than normal matter, the mirror shatters, physics breaks, and the mystery of our existence is finally solved. We tend to think of the universe as a perfectly ordered machine, but the reality is that all the planets, the stars, and humanity itself only exist because of a localized imperfection. We are literally a glitch in the math. And while studying this requires the largest machines ever built, antimatter itself isn't confined to underground labs in Switzerland. Trace radioactive isotopes naturally spit out antimatter all the time. If you go to the supermarket and buy a banana, the potassium-40 inside it decays and releases a positron, an antimatter electron, roughly every 75 minutes. And since your body also contains those same trace isotopes, you don't need a particle accelerator to make the most expensive substance in the universe. You are quietly producing about 180 particles of antimatter every single hour. You've been an antimatter factory all along.